welcome back to G2E here in beautiful Las Vegas here at the Venetian Center. I'm here with Greg Topalian from Clarion Events North America. Greg is also a board member of SportsGrid, and he is the Seattle Pilots fan. How did that happen?
I don't know if that's fair. There is a community of Seattle Pilots fans out there. I may be the most knowledgeable fan, and if there's trivia, I'm happy to take it. So,
tell everybody a little bit about your background. You're at Clarion now. Before and how you got to this point and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I've basically spent my entire professional career in the trade show and events industry. I actually started my career at Reed Exhibitions, the company that runs G2E. I ran G2E at one time in my career. Probably most notably, though, I started New York Comic-Con when I was at Reed Exhibitions, and that really got me into the whole fan festival style business. I ended up in the video game space, anime space, started my own company called Left Field Media, sold that company to Clarion Events in 2016, and then became Clarion North America's CEO. So I've been running shows, very passionate about starting shows, running shows for about at least 25 years.
So walking around here today, how is this different, or is it different from when you used to run this?
Yeah, so it's really impressive. I wouldn't say it's that different. The slot companies are still incredibly impressive. They really bring out the shiny booths and all of the new products. I would say the biggest difference is back 10 years ago when I was involved, iGaming was like the future, but it wasn't really here. It's here now, right? So companies like SportsGrid serve a big market. Yeah. And 10 years ago, it was someday we'll have iGaming. Now we do.
So, you are a board member here, and we have you here for a reason.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the types of things, the skill sets and the things that you can bring to SportsGrid, some of the things that we're looking to do to help your guidance guide the company?
So not surprisingly, it's live, right? You guys, SportsGrid has an incredible platform and reach across different mediums, but there's a real power in gathering people live. And you don't have that skill yet, right? And we don't have products, but we will. I am working on a concept that I'm very excited about called BetCon, which would be a high-end gathering celebration. So think Comic-Con meets high-end resort, right?
Yeah, for the folks watching, Greg was integral in Comic-Con. I'm sure almost all of you have been to a Comic-Con somewhere in the United States and beyond, maybe. I don't know.
Probably so, yeah. So that, what I see fan passion. I see people that are spending significant time on SportsGrid, significant time thinking through, learning about making educated bets. So when I see passion, I realize there's an opportunity to gather these people. They want to meet their celebrities. They want to get their inside tips, and they have certain things they're passionate about. So I can't tell you where and when yet, but it's coming, and we're excited about it.
Are there any features of the event that you would like to focus on?
Yeah, so in talking to fans, which is always where I start. Like when I started New York Comic-Con, I started with fans. What do they love? What do they want to see? Doing the same thing here, right? So SportsGrid was kind enough to put a survey out for me. It opened up a lot of conversations. They want a couple things. They want like conference sessions. They want the sharps to be giving them inside track on how are they betting college football, what are they doing with NFL, what are they doing with the MLB playoffs. They want that. We can give them that. They want celebrity access. They also want competition. They want poker tournaments. They want golf tournaments. They want to be with their people and to have an epically fun time while they're also learning.
I think it's a home run. I'm hoping to be a part of it.
We'll make sure we have a room reserved for you.
What else is going on with you at Clarion and some of the other endeavors?
Yeah, so the event business in general is incredibly vibrant. The COVID years were quite scary and meant we really couldn't do what we do, but it came back even stronger. The world has become so impersonal, so much Zooming and non-face-to-face that people want face-to-face. Yeah. So I am more convinced than ever this is a great business. So with Clarion, the business is really, really good. They acquire new company, they acquire new businesses, and I'm very active in that front. I'm also doing a lot of early stage investing with startups. So I have in Vegas a smaller than this show over at MGM for the future of data. So it's all about the data industry. I don't even want to bore you with the details on that, but it's a huge business. I'm involved in an AI show. So those are the kinds of things I'm doing, but working with SportsGrid, coming up with a new fan model for this industry, unbelievably excited about it.
So AI is kind of obvious because it's become part of the lexicon. It's so popular right now and a buzzword. What are some of the things that you look for when you're looking conceptually the theme of a new show? You've started so many of them. What makes it get to the next step? Okay, this is still in, let me keep going.
Yeah. So part of it is what we call total addressable market. How big is this topic? Is this a topic? So I'll give you an example from long ago. You remember, you're old enough, Y2K.
What do you mean I'm old enough?
You were a similar age.
I'm old enough.
You were around.
I thought the elevators were going to crash. And
we all did.
Planes were going to...
So there were some conferences that got started around preparing for Y2K, right? That's a very short-lived thing. I wouldn't do that. AI likely will impact every industry across all industries.
Yeah, it's already started.
So I would liken it to the advent of the web and the internet. There were people that were skeptical about the web and the internet. And today, can you imagine functioning without the internet? You can't, right? So we always look for trends, but not micro trends, things that actually affect a significant number of buyers and sellers. So trade shows are really about that connection between buyer and seller. So big trend, and then understanding the ecosystem of who's the buyer in this world, who's the seller. And what I don't like is being in markets where one of those is really small, where there may be one or two sellers or one or two buyers. You don't really need a spectacular show like this for them. For fan events, I'm looking for passion. I'm looking for, and I mean people that are like, this is my thing. If I could spend an extra 5 hours today doing something, it's comics, it's anime, it's classic cars, it's sports betting. It's collecting fine wines. Whatever your thing is, I look for that deep passion and then make sure there's a big enough audience and a rich enough experience we can create. Those really honestly bring me a lot of joy because you make people happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to be involved in.
Yep.
All right, last question.
Yep.
Who had the first hit for the Seattle Pilots and who had the last hit for the Seattle Pilots?
Oh, wow. First hit.
2 questions.
I know that one. Their first game was.
I have no way to know if you're right. I'm going to have to look it up. I guess.
It was an away game. The first game was in Anaheim, and Tommy Harper led off the game with a double.
Led off the game.
Yeah, and he would score on a Mike Hegan 2-run homer on the next at bat. So there's the first.
Do you have any of those? Anybody's jersey? Any of those two fellas?
I don't have those guys. I do have several jerseys. I have 2 home jerseys, 1 away jersey, and a spring training jersey that were game worn jerseys. So
what about last?
Last, I don't know. Actually, the last hit. I know the last game, the final out. Reggie Jackson grounded out for the Oakland A's. So you got me on last hit.
What year would that have been?
69.
69. And they became the
Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. Incredible. Greg Topalian, ladies and gentlemen.
We are at day 2 of G2E 2024 at the SportsGrid studio, right in the middle of the action at the exhibit hall at the Venetian Expo Center. I am sitting down with Corby Carrison, the event vice president of G2E.
Hi, Gabby. It's so great to have you here. So happy to have you at G2E.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us this morning. How's the event going so far?
The event is amazing. We have so much energy in the building. People are here. As you can see, the exhibitors have really brought their A game, and we're so excited to have everybody together again.
This year feels like it's really buzzing around here. I mean, the line to get in this morning was insanity. Do you have a rough number of the amount of attendees this year?
It's hard to say because we still have people registering.
Okay.
But we are expecting to be right around that 25,000 mark again this year. 400 exhibitors this year. Anything from the core gaming sector to sports betting, online gaming, business consulting, just the full gamut of anything that you would need to be active in the legal and regulated sports and gaming market.
So let's talk about you really quick. If you want to give us a little background on yourself, what you used to do, how you got into gaming, and then how you found yourself in this position.
I've been in gaming actually for quite a long while, and that is how I got to the position where I am right now. So I used to be one of the exhibitors in G2E for quite a few years. Yeah, I worked for a few of the different suppliers in the sector. And over the years, working in marketing, I worked my way through some conference directing in the gaming industry, and then also some trade show operations. And that all really prepared me for leading a large event like G2E, and I'm just thrilled that I get to do it in the gaming sector.
Sure, and how cool that you've been on both sides of this massive event, right? You came and you were selling, and you were working for a supplier, hosting all your customers, and now you're able to put on an event for others to do so. That's amazing. That's amazing. What is maybe something different at G2E this year that we haven't seen before?
One really important thing is the inclusion of iGaming. There has been iGaming at G2E in years past, but last year we decided to bring it all together and create an iGaming zone. It was really successful. We got great feedback, and we decided to double down on that concept. So this year we brought it back. It's larger than ever, and we are seeing online casino in this space, online sports betting, bringing people together, doing the deals, and receiving really great feedback about that.
I've kind of noticed a few things this year at G2E. The presence of female leadership, in the presence of female businesses, and also the massive amount of companies surrounding sports betting.
It's true. A lot of really amazing leadership is female these days, and at G2E we really love to highlight diverse voices, not only in our content but also in everything that we do on the expo hall floor, where you see it here today.
Is there anything that G2E, the conference itself, is focusing on and bringing to the floor in the upcoming years?
We are always looking at what is in the industry today, but with an eye for the future. So we create our content with feedback from the entire industry. This year we have a lot of content around online casino, around sports betting, around the future of gaming, around tribal gaming. These are all really hot topics that we explore year over year at G2E. But now this year you add a layer of AI conversation into the picture,
of course,
along with diverse voices, women in sports betting, and it really creates a lens of where is this industry going in the future, because we're not just about where we are today, we're where we're headed to. So we're looking forward to seeing how all of those topics are received and putting that feedback into our program for next year.
Of course. Can you touch on a little bit the panel discussions and presentations and things that might happen off the exhibit floor?
Yes. We have over 100 different sessions in our conference program this year. It's programmed with feedback from the entire gaming ecosystem. So we put out a call for content. We ask people, what do you want to see? What are the hot topics? What's coming? And that's what informs our content. So it's feedback from the industry and ideas, speakers that come from the industry that help us to create what we do. It's a very busy week. There's a lot happening. Schedules are a little bit crazy, but that's what makes it really worthwhile. Everyone is here. You can't miss G2E. So if you're looking to do business in this space, you have to be here.
You have to be here, and it is very apparent that people make it a priority, and they come from all over the world.
They do. We have over 125 countries and regions represented at G2E. So this is definitely the place to be.
Sure. And maybe the last thing we can touch on is diversity, right? We did speak about women in the industry, but it goes beyond that, correct?
It really does. People of color, people with many different backgrounds, whatever that may be. It's important to have diverse voices represented. It makes all of us better. Creating conversation that maybe was one-dimensional before becomes multidimensional now, and that's very important for us as we move our businesses forward.
Absolutely. I have noticed the inclusion and the appreciation, especially in the tribal gaming space, right? It's incredible to see what you guys have done to honor those types of groups and peoples and companies as well.
That's right. We have great partners alongside the American Gaming Association, and
Sure.
that's our partner in G2E. But we do a lot of work together with the Indian Gaming Association. They help to curate part of our content, and we love highlighting the voices of tribal leadership year-round.
Korby, is there any trends that you've noticed at G2E 2024?
We're also serving the emerging markets. There are emerging online casino markets coming in the Americas, both North and South America, and we're looking toward gaming expansion, for example, in the UAE. So we're looking to tell all of those stories and have all of those conversations here.
You heard it here first from Corby Carrison, the event vice president of G2E. If you see her walking around the floor, make sure to tell her thank you, because she has done a wonderful job. Her team has done a wonderful job, and none of this would be here without her.
Welcome back, everybody. Brady Cannon with you on SportsGrid, live from G2E, the Global Gaming Expo in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are lucky enough to be joined now by Ryan Weinstock. He is the Chief Commercial Officer for Optic Odds, a very interesting company. We continue to bring these people to the desk with all kinds of different jobs involved in sports betting, gaming, you name it. Here's another one that is somewhat new to me. Explain to the audience, Ryan. First of all, thank you very much for joining
thanks
us.
for having me.
Second of all, explain to the audience what you've just spent some time educating me on about Optic Odds.
Yeah, very simply, we sell trading tools to sports betting operators.
You're helping traders, guys that run sports books, see a wide range of what the market is currently dealing to give them intel on what's going on a particular game, future, whatever it is.
Exactly. So we'll sell an API feed where operators can ingest our data programmatically, and then we also have an odds screen where we layer all of that data on top of a nice UI in a grid-like format.
What is the feedback like? Is it incredibly helpful for them?
It's incredibly helpful for them, and honestly, it's been incredibly helpful for us to work directly with a lot of these tier 1 operators we've been so fortunate to partner with. I'm not a trader. No one on our team is a trader. We're all technologists at heart. And what we've done is partner with a lot of these operators and have taken their feedback directly and incorporated it into our product. It's very easy for myself or our CEO, who aren't traders, to maybe make the flashiest features or demo porn, if we're being honest, and shop it around town and say, oh, this is the greatest thing. Instead, what we rely on is our customers telling us directly what they want why they want it, and then we build it.
I like that. I like that a lot. I wonder, do you get any pushback from some what you might call originators in the market? People, there are, whether it be offshore or US based, wherever you are in the world, there are some operators that, feel we create our own line. We don't necessarily need to see what the rest of the world is doing to give us confidence on our number. Do you ever run into that?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an antiquated way of thinking. The market's so global now, everyone could use reference data.
Well, even if someone does have that thinking, why wouldn't you want to see what everybody else is doing anyway, right?
Yeah.
Optic Odds, very interesting, and like I said, you continue to find out so many different layers of the sports betting business, whether it is just gaming or sports gaming, just another little niche here in the evolving world, I should say, of sports betting. When did you get started in this? How long have you been doing it? You mentioned you're more of a data guy, not necessarily a sports betting expert.
Yeah, I didn't.
But give me some background when this all started.
Yeah, I didn't kick off my career in the gaming space. I started my career at BlackRock, actually on their business development team. We were selling risk management solutions to pension funds and different LPs all over the globe. And I stumbled upon a site called OddsJam.
Yeah.
Back in 2021, maybe late 2020, the COVID days. Hit it off with the two co-founders and maybe joined OddsJam as employee number 3 or 4. And what we noticed was, as we were building out our B2C business, which is basically, the OddsJam B2C business at the time, which was basically displaying profitable bets to retail sports bettors, we started receiving a lot of inbound from different sports books, fantasy operators, syndicates, other startups in the space, who were all interested in the data that we were gathering to build OddsJam. And we kind of had that light bulb moment internally, where almost what Amazon did with AWS, where we could productize what we were using internally, and decided to split out from the OddsJam team and create Optic Odds.
Very good, there you have it. What does the future hold for Optic Odds? Now, obviously you're showing a vast picture of all kinds of markets and who's dealing what price and all this type of thing. Where do you go from here?
It's a good question. I would say 2 things we're hyper-focused on to wrap Q4, and hopefully kick off in 2025. One is global expansion. We recently doubled our sales team. We have someone based in Israel, someone now based in Brazil, someone based in the UK as well, really giving us kind of a global presence, whereas before, when I was kind of running the sales team, it was just myself in the New York City area. So good to finally have a team underneath us with a global presence. And then 2, we're launching a new product next week called Copilot, which will actually be an additional front end on top of the API, easily allowing operators to create custom consensus lines, scale their markets, and ultimately increase GGR.
Very interesting. That is Ryan Weinstock of Optic Odds. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, great.
Yeah.